Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Going Optimal for the week. It's Monday. We're going to kick it off, as I probably will do most Mondays these days, with a traditional draft, because I mostly draft best of one over the weekend, as it generally fits my schedule better. I can sit down, play a game, get up, do some stuff, come back, pepper in the games, whereas traditional requires a little more dedication in terms of setting aside enough time to potentially, what if you play a drawn out best of three? 3-game set. How's that going to go? So a little harder for me to set aside that time on weekends, but of course, setting aside that time weekdays is what I do. This is what I'm here for. So why don't we play some traditional when it is in fact the time set aside for this anyway? I did not catch any of the tournament this weekend, but I did catch the ban announcements this morning. We just talked about them a little bit. There's been some big shifts in standard. Omnath, gone. Just like that. Omnath got a couple weeks before R&D was like, oops. And makes me wonder, how that the quadruple Lotus Cobra maybe could have been seen. I don't know. But they did what they needed to do, and they got rid of it. So that's good in terms of creating some health for standard. They also got rid of Lucky Clover and Escape to the Wilds. So if you're going to do something broken with your Lotus Cobra, which is still around, you're going to have to find somewhere else to get there besides Escape to the Wilds. But it may be time to brew, and it may be time to sell those copies of Omnath. It may be time to buy into the Rogues deck or buy into Mono Red. Maybe you've got a different standard idea now that things are shifting. You know where to get the cards for that, right? My sponsor, CardKingdom.com. They are purveyors of all you could need for this standard shakeup. And if you want to get into a new deck and get rid of your old parts and convert them into new ones, I can't recommend a place more highly than Card Kingdom for that. They have an incredible buy list, 30% credit, store credit on cards you sell to them. So if you did want to convert some existing deck into a new deck, you can sell them the parts of your existing deck, get the 30% store credit, flip it around, and at least make a nice dent in the conversion. So even though Magic is an expensive hobby, at least the parts you're buying for it don't lose all their value, so that when you want to switch gears, you can get some value back out of it and move in the direction you want to head with this game. And Card Kingdom is going to help you do all of that. So check them out and do it from my affiliate link. If you use my panel down below, the link that just got thrown up in chat, or the link in my notes on the YouTube video, you will find a affiliate link that lets them know you got there from here and associates all of your activities with them after you go there with my stream. And that helps them be happy with me and keep me on the air and keep us drafting together, which I would love to do. So keep that in mind, please. Thank you, Card Kingdom. Let's pay our $1,500, get into draft view, and wait for this to fill. At the end of a format, we have seen the best of 3 queue take a little bit longer and longer to fire. People tend to prefer the best of one for that rapid play pace. Pretty sure that's the major appeal, is a variety of opponents and dicing up your play chunks into even smaller slices. But we like, as above 50% win rate players, best of 3 is very good for us, because we get, instead of just, let's say we have a 60% advantage, if I'm 60% to win a best of 1 game with you, I am not 60% to win a best of 3. I'm much better than that, because I have 3 games in which to find 2 wins with a 60% advantage. That's actually somebody else can do the exact math if you want. I'm curious. Yeah, what's the advantage of a 60% best of 1 player in best of 3? Anyway, the point is, it compounds your advantage or disadvantage relative to 50% across a multi-game set. And so that's an advantage. And it has the sideboarding factor, so we can leverage our skill a little more that way. And it does not have rank, so there's no ranked-based matchmaking. In best of 1, as I do better and better and better, it starts to pair me against better and better players, and that brings my win percentage down. It pushes me towards 50%. That's what ranked matchmaking tends to do. That's the design of it. The design of ranked matchmaking is to have, as much as possible, equal skilled players playing against each other, and when you accomplish that, you're pushing everybody's win rate towards 50%. And the idea there is, let everybody win the same amount. And if everybody's winning 50%, it means you're giving really equal matchups to everybody, that people are finding opponents that are their skill level, which is great if that's what you're looking for. But if you're trying to eke out a gem advantage and you have a significant win rate advantage, you're actually giving up a lot in the high levels of best of one. Whereas at least in best of three here, we are not going to be, we're going to be matched based on other decks with our win-loss record if possible. All right, we've got a mythic to consider in Jace Mirror Mage. Jace is pretty powerful. I've played with him once on stream, and I think actually had it against in the chat gauntlet, and Jace was pretty good. I really wanted to kick him. I really thought of him as a 5-mana play, because the play pattern here is make a 4 loyalty Jace, a 1 loyalty Jace, +1 the 1 loyalty Jace to scry to set up the top, and then use your 4 loyalty Jace to draw the cheapest card or the land that you've put on top. So, we all want to kick Jace, especially in puppet form, right? If this were Jace the puppet, I would kick it 100% of the time. It's clearly the pick here, and it's an excellent start because there's no appealing blue in the pack besides it. This is playable, but certainly not an early pick. This is one of the things you try to wheel. This is a blue card you try to wheel, not that you try to first pick or take early. So it's really a great start as well because of how clear signal for blue that we're sending downstream here. If we wanted to continue that signal, we could make a good argument for the Tazim Royal Mage. It's among the better cards in the pack, really, and it is on color. And it does give us 2 kicker cards that could play into a kicking strategy. And yeah, I think the second, maybe even the better card, perhaps the best card here is Binding. But Royal Mage isn't far behind, and Binding is, in my experience, having the drawback that aura-based removal always has the potential to be better or worse in a format based on the types of unlocking answers available, which is to say ways to get rid of the binding without, so that you reintroduce that creature. And between bounce and shelter, being able to protect, and sack effects, I think it's worth taking the Royal Mage to match our first pick, and because that binding does have some issues as far as removal goes. Well, we have a Geyser Mage if we just wanted to keep on keep taking blue cards. We don't have to, though. I don't want to get too obsessed with that, kind of cutting strategy when there's something like a Vanquish the Weak here. Not amazing. We take it. We can also take Fissure Wizard. I do like this tends to wheel, though, but this card is rising for me in the blue. Like, it's the fact that we're in blue. This is a great little glue card for the red-blue Wizards deck. But even if we're in that deck, we should just take the Geyser Mage. Yeah, and some people calling out that Vanquish is not premium. It can be interfered with if you get pump spelled or whatever. It can mess you up. Maybe I will go ahead and take the Stampede is good too. I know I like these lands, but I don't like blue-white all that much. So I think I was kind of avoiding it for that. But it seemed worth it to me to stay mono, and also that I don't like the kicker stuff. I mean, you can make blue-black kicker, and sometimes kicker payoffs are just incidental, and we don't even have any yet, so you don't need them. But Scythe Cat jumps out at me here as oh yeah, I'm not taking either of these blue cards, although Glacial Grasp is good. We could take Reclaim. It does have kicker on it, but I just want the solid Scythe Kitty. Reclaim, even when I'm in blue, green, kicker, I don't love the Reclaim. Hellion is also reasonable too. But the two places I most want to be with blue are green or red. And so here we go. Now we got Rabid Bite or the Coon Warrior, which is excellent. But since I took the kitty, I should probably just take the Rabid Bite here. What do you think? Is the warrior land so good? And, you know, red, I do love me some red-blue. It's very powerful. But, yeah, this is better. I do believe this is better than Rabbit Bite overall, but we do have a kitty and we do have blue. And I love green-blue. That's no surprise, no secret. Maybe I should just take the bite. Yeah, there's not a ton of great blue, so maybe we have recut. You know, we're just getting cut back. Passing a lot of vanquishes, but I like picking up another kitty here. Especially since we went with that bite. All right. White is open. Almost makes me want to pivot now. I mean, this shelter shouldn't be here. This is real good. This is exactly what I was talking about, making these auras less playable. Stomper is right on plan, though. I do like a plunder, but there tends to be lots of ways to draw cards. But I think we do want plunder or stomper, and we'll just let the white signal keep going, and somebody's going to get hooked up with a nice white deck here. Math likes the white-blue. Maybe I just don't have the right experience with it. I am going to take the stomper, though. Gnarlid Colony above Squid, Shield, or Stalker. I do like a Stalker. Here's a Hellion that's also pretty late, but Colony is perfect here for us. We don't have the kickoffs, the kicker payoffs, which I will now call kickoffs, quite yet. But kicker is good in and of itself. You don't actually need payoffs; they're just nice to have. Broken Wings, good for the board. Predation here, late. But I'm gonna kind of lock in on what we're doing here. Note that Jace was the only blue card in this pack besides Duelist, and it did wheel. I did note that it's the kind of card you're hoping to wheel, but I think a Broken Wings, Broken Wings out of the board over the main deckable Duelist here. This is much better in the Rogues deck, but it's playable. I don't like Nectar Pot. Sentinel at least has kicker, and I like it over the Tempest. Yeah, we're sending a great black-white deck to the left. Hopefully that gets picked up on, and we get a lot of awesome green-blue as a reward in Pack 2. Certainly we've cut good blue. Tempest is playable, but not good. Scale the Heights. Not really what we want to do. It doesn't do, you know, there's a lot of these weird little fiddly glue cards at common, but this one doesn't quite do, I mean, it does put a counter on the Sentinel per se, but I'm just going to take a rare draft here, a little gem draft. Hellion still comes around, kind of makes me want to take it and hedge, although we've ended up with more, like we started down blue, like we went blue, blue, blue. Our first 3 picks were blue, and then we didn't take another blue pack for the rest of the pack. So I'm actually going to take Hellion. Maybe blue isn't open enough. Broken Wings, number 2, we don't need to take now. I'd rather take Anti-Cog, which is a decent sign. This is better in the mill deck. This is a good sign, too. So at least we got some blue cards late. And then we get an on-color rare to consider. I think we take this over the Bubble Snare. The Bubble Snare is quite good, but Swarm Shambler on 1 becomes must answer. Yeah, scale is fine, but I just doubt it makes the cut here. You think Bubble Snare is better than the Shambler? Maybe I'm just locked into that rare symbol, but this ability, if you get it early, is really incredible. I'm going to take it because maybe you're right, Jinx, that the snare increases our win percentage a little more, but it's going to be pretty close, and we get to mess around with the rare. So I'm going to take the rare, but Jinx might be right. It's not that. If my pick is wrong, it's not that wrong, is kind of what I'm saying. So I'm willing to do it and mess around with the rare on stream. This is also fine. If we can steal something, great. The disruption is also justifiable. This wizard is Deece. Glacial Grasp is the draw a card, 3-drop instant, or whatever that I would rather, 3-drop instant sorcery that I'd rather play over the scaled heights or whatever. So yeah, this baseline is a 2-1 flyer is fine. And then you can do some kicking stuff. This has been good for you, True? You've been stealing stuff with it? stealing artifacts. Well, maybe our neighbor didn't end up in white-black, or they don't care about this. But we have a familiar. Now we're starting to get a payoff for our deck. Stealing a Kick Sentinel sounds like good times. I would agree with that. Riptide is a payoff for doing some kicking, but I'm going to finally take... I think we have what's enough to take this. Let's see. We might play this. Maybe we don't have enough. Anti-Cog, Rabid Bite, Broken Wings if we play it. I guess we don't actually have a lot. I was thinking Riptide might wheel, yeah. And even a low percentage vision is still okay. And if we end up with some Into the Royals and other spells like we want, we'll be happy to have this. So I'm going to take this. Here's another one to consider, but now I think I'll take the type of thing. Oh, sorry, I missed Vine Gecko. Oh, Vine Gecko is so stupidly good in kicker decks. Yeah. No, see my draft this week, my silent draft this weekend to see some Gecko action. Spoilers. Nothing great here. This is where I might pick up a Glacial Grasp. It's not astounding, but I think it is better than any of these for what we want to do. Because a kicker deck is frequently just trying to get to 6 mana where you can start kicking Geyser Mages and Royal Mages. So Grasp lets me tap down, draw, stall, prevent a couple of attacks. Jinxwood Brute, yeah, maybe I do need creatures, but 3 drops. We have a couple of kitties. Let's just get more kitties. I don't think we're a pickaxe deck. We're not as hyper aggro as that. We could take a Might as a reasonable trick, and it does have kicker. You can also just take a Seafloor Stalker. That is a fine way to finish a Magic game. It's probably Stalker or Might. I'm not sure which one. I guess I'm going to go Stalker. And here's a familiar number 2. Pretty easy pick there. And a Royal Mage late. So we're in a good spot. Seeing a couple Root Grazers go around, so the green-white deck would have been there too. We even wheeled our Disruption, which we'll take here. These are all fine. My rank of the other ones is probably Squid Wings number 2 Seer, but Disruption is good. Snarecaster for the board. We are best of 3. Anti-Cog to really fill out our 2s if we just want to make sure we're doing stuff on 2. I'm going to start with Anti-Cog. We can find a Snarecaster later. Riptide does wheel, so it's all coming up Millhouse now. We just need kicking. More kicker stuff, please. Aesthetic. Scourge of the Skyclaves. If you are a collection building drafter, don't feel any shame about snagging every mythic you see. If you just wanted to take that and call it a pick, I don't blame you. We have a tougher call. A big finisher or interaction? Maybe we need interaction more than we need big finisher. We have Skyclave Sentinel, we have Kazandu Stomper, we have ramp to get to them. I hate passing the Falconer, but I am going to take the Snare. And it's the kicker. It does have kicker, right? Well, if we had ended up in the black-white deck, we would have gotten a big reward here. But I don't mind where we're at. I think we take Rabid Bite looking to wheel the Geyser Mage. Jinx wants Geyser Mage, but I think we can wheel that, and it's the Rabid Bite's the more of that interaction we want. I think you'd make a good case for either of these. I'm going to stick with the Bite. Nothing going on here. We take Royal Eruption on the possible splash. We don't really have the tools to do it yet, but if we happen to end up with 1 or 2 of the kicker land finders in green, we could consider running that. Why does... I don't know what the Vanquish looks like to you. You want to go scale? Yeah, I don't think this is going to make the cut, but I don't think this is either. I guess we'll take the on-color thing. It doesn't look like we're going to splash. I'll take it, but now I know we're going to get like... Yeah, I guess we're going to wheel... We can wheel this. We're going to get this on the wheel. So I'll take the royal, even though I don't think we're going to play this. In fact, I'm going to put it in the board on the expectation that we don't. Forsaken Monument could be more... again, you can just... No shame. Mythic Rare. If you want a rare draft, get a couple of extra gems. But we're gem independent around here. We can take the Veil or the Sentinel. I think we start with the Veil and try to wheel the Sentinel. Hey, everybody. It's a rare that does stuff in our deck. We're going to take that quite happily and also notice the Lol Mage Familiar, the Rabid Bite, and the Risen Riptide and think, okay, we're in the right place. Chilling Trap jumped out at me, but then I saw our friend Gnarlid Colony. What a great pickup here at 6. Scythe Kitty. Yeah, let's get a third one of those. There is a shell shield for the kicker payoff, but we don't have like Roost or anything, so I'm just going to take Kitty. Another Riptide. There's a Visionary, but do we have enough kicker to support the Riptide now, or we all pay off and no kicker? We're pretty low on kicker for being a kicker deck. I wish we had more, but I think because I could take the Visionary. I'm taking the Visionary. I don't know if we're kicking enough. Although, you know, Stomper, a second Stomper versus a second Stalker. I think just second Stomper. We have a Stomper already. That's why I was a little bit... Yeah, and we have a Stalker too. I agree, Stalker's a win con. Here we go. And Geyser Mage did come back. I think we had the right seat. We didn't necessarily open enough Royals, or maybe the Into the Royals all got taken or whatever, but I'm not playing either of these. I guess there's maybe Aggro Worlds. Well, I'm going to take the third Familiar and try to ramp to our Verazol and double Stomper. That's my new plan. All right, well, we found a lane, I suppose. Let's drag our Splans over and establish our mana first, and then get hardcore with these options. I'm going to have to cut some of that for sure, like Duelist, go away. Probably 2 of those. Probably have to cut Grasp. This can go on board. All right, I like all these cards. 17, 18, 19, 20. With the double return and the triple Familiar, we can go to 18 pretty easily here. Hey, Smash, thanks. Yeah, Techno Bobble, the blue cuts we made early certainly seem to help. Yeah, Anti-Cog is simply a 2-drop, but looks like we have enough. So our 2-drops look good now. We've got 2 Royal Mages, Skydiver, Colony, Gecko. I don't think we're playing Verazol on 2, but and Shambler, Activation. You know, this is a fine set of 2s, so we can absolutely cut down on the 2. And 2 Geyser Mage. Yeah, we can cut 1 Kitty out too. Let's see our numbers. Yeah, we got a lot of creatures here, and we want to run all Familiars. We can even cut 1 more of these potentially. Let's also count our kicker. So we have... Right, am I missing anything? This technically has kicker for triggering purposes, right? We can kick it for 1 just to activate the Riptide, which is what I'm looking at here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 10 cards with kicker is a little better than I thought. Better than I was worried. But that's okay. And yeah, maybe we can get rid of Stalker. If we win a long game, I don't think we need the Stalker to do that. Next here, we'll go to this. So closing in on deck here, down to 20. Maybe we do just cut another kitty. I like this card a lot. I'm surprised I'm cutting them, but that's how synergistically our deck came together, and so now I'm just trying to move in on our actual synergy. Good question on Royal Mage. You don't need much to justify it. You just need to have something, and we get... so our options are 2 Rabid Bites and Vision, Disruption, and Veil. But of course, Vision... not that great either. Maybe we could justify cutting one of these, but oh, these can't be targeted? What do you mean? These enter the battle. These are in the graveyard as an instant, right? Thing is, these aren't great targets. Really, we want Rabid Bites. But you're right. I acknowledge that these Royal Mages are not at their best here, but they can still be 2 drops, and even getting back a Rabid Bite sometimes is going to be worth it, and kicking to trigger stuff can be worth it. So I'm going to keep them both. Yeah, make a billion extra Jaces. Yeah, we bring Wings in, we get that back. It'd be a reason to run Anti-Cog or a Glacial Grasp. We could throw in you can even cut a Familiar potentially. But we need to still cut something from this, and it's got to be a creature. I can't cut anything from here. So, man, what are we cutting? A Riptide or a Kitty? Or can't cut the Shambler, that's too good. All right, sounds like we're down to Familiar or Riptide, which is crazy. I love the Familiar, not the Familiar. Well, let's one of these 3s, right? So I'm going to pull it, and then we'll go. So do you want to cut? Are we cutting Rip for Riptide, Cat for Territorial Scythe Kitty, and Lull for the Lull Mage? What are we cutting? One of the... Or you can put an other, if you really think it should be something else, you can name what it, say other colon and name what you think it is, and maybe if you make a powerful point, I'll consider your objection. You think Stomper should be on poll, for example? If we keep 3 Familiars, I really want the high end. Yeah, it's funny. I feel like 3 Familiars want 2 Stompers, and 2 Stompers want 3 Familiars, such that cutting one makes me want to cut the other. I don't know. Yeah, I hear you, but you hear what I'm saying? If we're gonna run 3 Familiars, I really want both. I want all 3 things we have that might cost 6+ mana. So I'm gonna keep. I'll follow the Kitty path, which is something, because I like this card a lot. Especially, and with 3, you guarantee it early enough that it can really get out of hand. I'm gonna say done, then come back in. I want it all, Jinx. This is a ramp deck. This is great to have all this ramp targeting. I think it'll be fine, because the other stuff also is part of our plan to cast when we don't, when we need a 3-drop. I'll consider it. If it feels like we have too many ramp targets, I'll come back in, but I think I like this density. I like your reasoning, Flip. I'm going to go with chat's choice right now, but we may mess around with our final card, and we can certainly ask ourselves when we see this Risen Riptide, do we wish it were a Scythe Kitty? So, we are... what do we want to call this? It's familiar. We got 3 familiars. Do we end up with 3 of anything else? Yeah, well, with how I've been drafting, this is fair. Theros. Are we happy with where these ratios ended up? Actually, a little more. There's so much blue. All of our tap land, our splans are blue. So I'm going to cut an island and add a forest. Then we get 10-8. And the Jace kind of likes the 10-8. You could make a 9-9 case as well. We do have Gnarlid colonies we want on 2. But I think 8 is good enough here. Let's lean into the Jace. I hear you, Jinx. I think we're going to be having so much mana, we're going to be loving having all that stuff to do. With three familiars, I think we're going to want plenty of stuff to do, but we'll see. Looks good. Give it a screenshot. All right, great, keepable. Got the Gecko on 2. Gecko on 2 drives so much for a kicker deck. If this Gecko lives, and with the mulligan, I like our chances. I gotta pitch something. What do we want to pitch? We could pitch the Rabid Bite since we can get it back with Royal Mage. We can pitch Jace, but we can actually kick ourselves to Jace pretty reasonably. Don't really need to bite any of this stuff now. So yeah, let's get rid of the bite and come back to it, which is kind of weird because usually you keep your removal in a spot like this. Yeah, that's fair. We maybe don't have the double blue yet. I mean, obviously, there's a way in which we're going to need to draw lands or we can't win anyway. But you're not wrong that, yeah, let's get rid of Jace. I think G-Guards is right. I hear the arguments for Bite and for Royal Mage, but we didn't have the blue for that, so it made sense to me. Made sense to toss Jace. Now, of course, we found the Veil, but, that's hindsight. Acting on the knowledge we had, I think that was the correct choice. And here you go. Here's one reason why it's the correct choice. Now we can get rid of this Scoot Swarm before it does any damage. Gotta play this Veil as a land. Die! And now we'll wait. With these lands, we can kick a snare with the gecko. And looks like we got it. Oppo also stuck on lands. I'm willing to snare the Blight Blade to get the gecko into start attacking here. Thank you, Scawny. We could also play Verazal as a 3/3. You know, play Verazal and then double bubble. And it sticks around as a 1/1, I suppose. Yeah, maybe I'm being too greedy with this, but it feels like we can do more. I'm gonna go with my plan. I hear you. That's tempting. But this doesn't have kicker. Vine Gecko reduces kicker costs. Don't worry, Chatham, I don't read cards either. Watch my video over the weekend where I had Vine Gecko in my deck, and I must have forgotten the rules text. Oh no, yeah, the first kick spell. Like the first kick spell you cast each turn. I kept forgetting first. Oh, thanks, D. I didn't know what you were talking about. You said back to bottom. I was like, what are you talking about, D? On Cardboard Live? Yes, thank you. I had a restart over the weekend that left CBL off. So now you do Verazal and get a 4/4 out of it. That seems pretty good. What else will we be doing? We can't play this on the cheap. So yeah, I like send in Gecko, play Verazal on 4. I really think the wording on this is clever. To be able to make a green-blue X spell that plays like a creature that just says X, right? It requires green and blue, but it functions like like X. So we can successfully kick the Royal Mage this turn and even copy it, but we don't get a lot of value out of that because we don't get 2 Royal Mages and 2 spells back. Whereas if we take some time here to Rabid Bite this turn, we can double it next turn and double return Bite. So, yeah, exactly. Just pointing out that while we could kick this turn, it's not the we're going to be value greedy and might even hold an island in hand because if we get discarded here, I guess if we're doing. Yeah, if we get a discard and I hold the island, we can go discard Stomper and Island and then still draw a land and still do the thing. So I'm going to play this, and I'm going to go ahead and take out the Visionary so that we can get aggro and make an attack here. And a little, maybe controversial to hold the island, but we're up against swamps. We've already seen some hand destruction. I really want to retain the Royal Mage in hand, so I'm going to keep a little protection here. Mucklord, not discard, so that's good. And Geyser Mage, let's just start there. Shall we? Well, I don't even want to. Let's. We basically win. We get him to 1, or force a block, or maybe we just do that next turn because they don't have good blocks here anyway. With 2 and a 1, we get Vine Gecko up to 4 toughness, and they don't have anything that can block either of these. So actually, I'm going to wait on this. Oh, but the Verazal shrinks, so Verazal wouldn't be able to attack. But I think still worth it. We'll get the Vine Gecko big. We'll get our bites back, and I don't think we can lose this game. You don't want to double the Royal Mage? Yeah, I don't know. It's too. I'm doing it. I don't care if it's wrong, G-Guards. If it's wrong, I don't want to be right. Well, we can double both. Now the full control is confusing me. G-guards, value. Get in for what? I don't know. I just see value.
Point is, ladies and gentlemen, that greed is good.
I mean, value plus value plus value plus value equals win the game. If I did that, I could have only attacked... No, we don't like that play because the Vine Gecko didn't get to 4 toughness until I kicked a spell. That's the problem there. Did they just... Let's see. With 14, we can kill this, get in for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then kill that. I'm going to save the Geyser Mage. We just kill, and what are they going to do, really? Yeah, I'm double Rabid Bite since we drew the Forest. I'm going to use the Royal Mage token since... I mean, I guess I don't... If they have Subtle Strike, I want to be able to beat that. And I guess Vine Gecko allows us to beat Subtle Strike. I just don't want to get blown out, but I don't think they have anything. All right, not a blowout. We did trade for a card. They drew a card after, though, so that's unfortunate. But still, it's we still look fine to me. I'm gonna go like this. Still clear the path. Still clock in for a ton of damage, and then still have Geyser Mage copied next turn. Looks like they have a Rabid Bite, maybe. Seems like they're hovering over their Gloomhunter, and then a thing they could bite with Gloomhunter. That's why I'm thinking that's what's going on here. Although they would go for Verzal in that case, right? So I'm not sure what's up. I don't know why they keep looking at the Royal Mage. There you go. That got him a lot of life, that's true, but yeah, I think we actually attack, kick Geyser Mage, send back the Gloomhunter, send back our... Oh, is it... Yeah, send back our Royal Mage, and then we can do it... Oh, wait. I win off kick Geyser Mage 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... Oh, yeah, sorry. Let's... We have to kick those, so we send the Blight Blade back just to get the kick action. Oh, we don't even need to. So we just go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Right. So we're going to decline that. Just take the 1 and win. Sorry. I'm overcomplicating things, but we got there. I was thinking I needed to kick it and copy it, but we didn't even need to do that. So we do have... our naturalize effect. I don't see anything for that we need to for that. So not swapping in for that. Let's reduce it to just... Turn Timber Ascetic could come in for life gain or ground defense. I don't think we need anything here. Run it back. All right, looks good. And hands like this are why I want lots of ramp targets. Like, I want to make sure that we draw stuff to do with the ramp we're going to get here. But Familiar into Visionary with Bubble Snare around feels like a great spot. Although, enough with the lands. We could stop lands now and I'd be happy. Mucking it up over there. We're going to drop our Familiar over the Riptide. Generally, when you can, you play your ramp at the earliest possibility. That's the default heuristic, and then decide from there. So they got our Familiar number 1. That's all right. We actually didn't have quite the ramp. You know, if we had had the Familiar this turn, the turn looks awfully similar. We played Jiraga Visionary and we attack for 2 as opposed to just not. But you want the Riptide now. I'm going to max my mana and look for action. If they don't play anything, I would make this trade. Like, if they don't play a creature, I'll offer. I don't care if it's for a card in hand or not, but if the Mucklord dies with no creatures out, that's better than not. And I think we win a long game. Our deck is set up to get value back. So I'm going to play the attrition game here. Make trades when we are given the opportunity, especially with a card that's already drawn a card. And trade for whatever resources of theirs we can. And there's another Familiar, and we could even go Familiar Snare. But I think we just play the Familiar and pass, and then... Yeah, and now you trade for a Marasa, right? I mean, that's the thing. Like, we trade for Mucklord or card from hand, and the answer was card from hand, but it did leave them with a bigger Mucklord, so pretty good trade for them as far as that goes. Oh, sure. Well, I'm going to go Familiar here anyway, and we'll take an attack. They might just not... Some people don't attack in this spot because we have a block, but I'm never blocking here in a million years. I assume, as G-Guards points out, they showed us a couple of mites. That's annoying, but we can snare that down, or even... I mean, with Rabid Bite coming up, we can get either of these out of the way. I'm just wondering if we can't bite anything on the current board. We could also drop Stomper. Just get a huge thing out there to start biting next turn. 7 mana available, so we could also potentially do like Riptide, Bubble Snare, and that's not the worst either. Just means we don't attack with Lil Mage, and then Riptide can block the Mucklord. So let's do that. Swing first, then bite. I said, but then I don't get the... I don't think they're not gonna block. I'm not gonna give them the... I don't think they're gonna block Jinx, so I'm just gonna do what I said. It also gives us the kick. What are we doing with the landfall from the Stomper? Mainly we are picking up spell lands, but also, gang, take away everything but the trample, and I'm still interested in this card for this deck. It's just a ramp target that's a 6/5 trampler. I don't know if you noticed, but this card has 6 power, it has 5 toughness, and it tramples. Have you read that? That's cool. So Oppo's saying they've got the goods. I think we just give it to them. Sure. Take out our Riptide. We'll trade Riptide for... I mean, this is almost our final cut anyway. So let's trade this for whatever. And then Stomper, Rabid Bite, and Royal Mage rule the world. And we can even go Stomper, Swarm Shambler, or even go Stomper, Rabid Bite here because we have we can bounce a land back. So I'm going to hold off on the Shambler. This is definitely not a great top deck. Jinx was saying when we picked this, he'd rather have, what was it? Was it Royal Mage? I think we ended up wheeling the Royal Mage, but I get you. Like, I can't remember what I took this over a very good non-rare in our colors. But I like... and this is why I think Jinx thought it was defensible to take a non-rare, because it's not that great off the top. But it can take over early. And then... I'm just figuring out what to leave. I guess it doesn't matter because we have the familiar that does anything. So we'll do this and get a land back. I guess we can get 2 if there was... There's not really... landfall though, so I'm just going to get the 1 back for our purposes this turn. Yeah, that's fair. I think it's pretty clearly a pick over Royal Mage, but it's not clearly a pick over Snare, and I think I even announced at the time that I did want to experiment with the rare, even though acknowledging that the premium removal was possibly the correct pick. Well, let's kick it, shall we? But let's start with an attack. Let's see, we don't even need... We can even attack with the familiar if we want, and we can still kick Jace and play Swarm Shambler. So let's start there. Wow, not even a pause from Oppo. This might just get a scoop right here then. Before I play Shambler, we will do our sequencing on Jace, which is to scry with the small Jace.
Solving mysteries is my
And we'll keep both, and we'll go ahead and draw the 2-drop.
This will have to do.
And play our Shambler. It's possible we found something on 1 we would want to do instead. Not sure what that would be, but... Okay, so now with 4, 5, 6, 7, if we find 8 mana, what can we do with 8? We can kick the Royal Mage to get Rabid Bite and bite the Arbor Mage, so we really want to use the Jaces to try and find a land here. Ugh, wow. Well, I guess I just keep the Geyser Mage, and then it's a shortcut to what we wanted anyway. So I just keep Geyser Mage. And then we lose the other Jace, right? But that's fine. This is strong. I like that you don't have to have the loyalty. Like, Jace could be at 1, and you still get a 9-drop if it's there, right? It's just Jace goes away. That's a clever aspect of that design that makes it more powerful than I was thinking about at first. Let's see. Kind of just want to take one off the top and hope it's a land. See what that does. I think maybe we just have this anyway, but I'm going to start with a 0 on Jace. There's a land. And now 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana if we need it. If we just attack with everything and they block biggest, we trample for 3. And then 4, 5, 6. So I think we just win with an attack. I'm overthinking, but I just wanted to at least start with a Jace and then do the math. But I think we have it. They don't have blocks here with thanks to the trample on Stomper. That's how to do your quick combat math. When they've got 2 blockers, take your 2 biggest things and presume they block your 2 biggest things the best way possible, which is this, and then count the damage, and you see that we had lethal. All right, good start. Nice. Show me that island on top. Heck, show me. Oh, for an island in this hand would be beautiful, but it's a mulligan. Hey, and look, we effectively got that hand, but back, so I'm not too unhappy here. Oh, we're missing some of the kicking. We're gonna keep this, and definitely keeping the forest. Question is, do we send back one of the tap lands or the island? I think we send back one of the tap lands because we want to open on tap and then go to Vine Gecko and be sure to have Lul Mage on 3. So, no, we've won twice, but this is best of 3, so we won our first match. And I'm going to return Veil, as Disruption has its best shot to snag something here early. All right, it doesn't matter. I'm going to play it tapped. But in fact, maybe I should have. That's actually wrong. Now that I think about it, I should have kept the Veil, because we're likely to get it back with the Stomper, and the Veil is going to be better late than the Disruption. So small inefficiency there. Should have taken the other one. Colony is nice, but we're going to, of course, go with the Gecko. Gecko into Familiar is just, we can kick 6 drops on 4. Not that we have any in hand yet, but we could. I guess we attack first. Gnarly Colony kicks for 5, so that's still pretty good. We can do that next turn if we keep the Familiar. Right now we only have 1 green, so we need this Familiar for the second green. If they vanquish the Familiar, well, we'll hope to draw something like a forest. Hopefully this tank from Oppo is lack of good options against a strong start from our deck. And that certainly seems to qualify. And we get our 6-drop kicker card that I was saying we could use here. So let's go ahead and do it. How about you make that play again next turn, too? All right, now we could go Stomper, bring back our Jwari, and actually with them stuck on land, probably get something out of it. And we can safely attack with Geyser Mage and Gecko, or we could just kick the Colony. But I think I like having I like the idea of a Jwari Ruins in hand. You want True wants it the other way around. Yeah, okay, I could be convinced of that. Let's do that. Fine, you got me. We'll do this. True, it's a 6/5, so this adds 6 power to the board, but between 4 and 1, this move just added 5 power to the board. So it's almost the same move, and we still get to set up our play next turn. Yeah, that's true. Although I wasn't gonna, because we would kick. That's the thing. If I thought there was a chance we would have held up Dwari Ruins next turn, then I like the Stomper better. But if I'd gone Stomper here, we were gonna go Gnarly Colony next turn anyway. Well, they found a 4th land. Let's see if they can kill something critical here or put some Death Touch down. The Wide Open Mana, what does that mean? Instant speed, 4 or less mana in black or red. I'm not going to go look it up, but I am uncertain what this means. I'm going to play the... Oh, I can attack first, but we have land Stomper without using the Familiar, so I'm going to do that. Yeah, Sky Dancer doesn't stop... Like, nothing... Can't think of anything scary. I'm certainly going to send in, make him have something. Wow, does this mean there's no sweepers either? I mean, there's the destroy small stuff in black, which would get our small stuff. So maybe that's the reason to play Stomper, that if they have the 1 rare that wipes our board, we crack back for 6 trample. So I'm going to go ahead and play it. Wizard's probably not going to be enough here. Mucklord is an odd inclusion in a what appears to be like a black-red. Usually black-red is something is party-based, right? Get lots of clerics, rogues, wizards, and warriors going on. The Signpost uncommon for that deck is a piece of equipment. But in a sense, we have a main deck answer to equipment that we just haven't seen yet in Thieving Skydiver. And I'm not going to bring in Broken Wings on the possibility of a card. If they were playing blue, then maybe, and we hadn't seen flyers, you could maybe justify it because of the flying angle. But we're not going to, I think we're trading anything here. We're just sending this back. All right, nothing between 1 and 4 here, but the 1 is so strong we're going to keep it, and if nothing else, we at least get to grow the Shambler for a few turns. Hey, that'll be nice on 3. Perfect on 3, really, and then... on 4, we can cast Visionary and still grow the Shambler. I bet stolen equipment falls off. Does it? That's an interesting question. Oh, it attaches it to itself. Okay, that's why. Yeah, because you're right. That would be an underwhelming result to gain control of the equipment without actually putting it on your side, but it looks like they figured that out. This is a strong card for a long game, although I'll repeat my disappointment in this. There's a long line of red cards that give you access temporarily to a card, right? For 1 turn or 2 turns. And trouble is this one triggers on landfall, and I like the ones that give you the ability to play lands. This one basically never gives you the ability to play lands because it's being triggered on landfall. So we're just going to go Familiar here, though, and take a turn to actually attack with the Shambler since we don't have the mana to grow it. Just so. That's a real bad result for this card. I mean, if you don't need land, you can at least take heart in knowing that you're getting land off the top, and it has a clause say, hey, at least it pings your opponent for 1, but the ping opponent for 1 isn't quite there for it. 2 is too much, but like if it pinged for 2, then I would have no, like it wouldn't even be a drawback. It'd be like I'd almost be rooting for lands. All right, that thing is nasty, but right now it would trade for a visionary. I think we go. We just go with our visionary shambler grow play here, and then try to get big coming up. Yeah, I got a couple of bites that will take care of the scavenger. We have 1 bubble snare that would also do it. Now they're getting some value out of the exploration. Free card number 1. Kind of want to try to get aggro here to the best of our ability, because we will lose to this in a very long game. We have some ways to generate quite a lot of advantage as well. Royal Mage, Verazal is a thing, but we need a thing to get back with Royal Mage first. So we're looking for one of our spell lands or one of our 2 Rabid Bites to set up action here. But worst case, we get a Stomper next turn, or we just make a 6/6 and set up to possibly start copying stuff. Probably just make the 6/6. If they have removal, they're going to use it on our 6/6 right away. But make them have it. Land, not what we wanted to see. Visionary is now just going to trade with the wizard and not the scavenger. Let's go. I'm going to send the visionary. God, might even send the shambler is what I'm thinking about. But when does it? Wait, does something at some point? You know, we get an insect if they target it. But given that we're going to spend all of our mana on Verazal or Stomper here, we could make the case for just cracking in. Again, we're going to lose to this over time. We are going to start growing this again, but I'm going to send both our 3-power creatures. It increases the scavenger's power, that's true. It becomes a 2/3. Do we care about it that much? I don't think we care that much. I'm going to send both. Okay, this must mean Subtle Strike, which would be quite good for them. But we do get to follow with Stomper. Interesting that they're going for the familiar. I don't know. Maybe it just doesn't matter, but yeah, maybe it doesn't matter. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. That's why they did it. And yeah, Verazal for 6 is good. Pausing on 1 mana. What does red have for 1 mana at instant? Could have been a full control or something, but oh yeah, the land, the 1 damaged land. Good call, good call. Keep that in mind for this might mean a dead Royal Mage. Hey Pablo, I'm digging it, but you know me. I'm not hard to please with blue-green kicker in these parts. Shock's not in the format, though. Bite! Rabid bite, rabid bite, rabid bite, bite, bite! There's a copying engine. Well. This is starting to slip away a little bit. But we got some beefy stuff, so we gotta hope our beefy stuff gets there. Oh, I don't know. Some people, if I don't get the wink, believe me, Is calling shock in range for chat and being serious? Yes. We don't need to take any of these back. We don't really have landfall, and really, it's just to get spell lands back. Part of the reason I'm playing Verzal on 6 is that if we draw kicker stuff, we can immediately start copying it. It was a hedge towards top decking a desirable kick. This is troubling, but we can race them if they don't have the goods for this, and they keep finding mountains on their exploration. Yeah, we are. Oh, and that. No, we still think they have a spike field in hand. What did I miss? Oh, that was the exploration. Okay. All right. Disruption at least provides something we could get back with a Royal Mage. And can't really offer the Verzal into the Scavenger, but we can offer the Stomper. If they want to trade Scavenger for Stomper, we'll take that. Copy, copy, copy. So many copies. All right, that's pretty good. Yeah, if we can get them to try to do something tricksy where they tap out to maximize a lithoform engine, then we may be in business with this disruption. All right, interesting. Yes. Now they copy it, so they're going to get one of those copies, right? But at least we get to counter one of these if they dupe permanent spell. Do I get them both, or does it copy it? Yeah, we got them both. I wasn't sure we'd get both or not. Nice. I wasn't sure about that, how that was going to go. And with 8 mana, we can attack with all 3, kick the Royal Mage, and kick it. We only get 1 card back, but we can kick it twice to get 2 copies. I'm not going to put any full control on. I'm going to trust Wizards here, that you wouldn't make a powerful card like that without giving me the ability to respond properly. If Oppo wants to use the engine to kill both our Royal Mages, that's cool. We still have plenty back. Is getting a 2/1 worth giving the guy -2/-2? Well, it spreads out power. So I think so. Because this is still lethal, right? Well, it's maybe awkward, but what else do we do besides swing in and then follow up with the Stomper, right? I guess if they go Subtle Strike and copy it, 2 dead Royal Mages and a 5/6, and then a 5/6 still just trades with the Stomper though. So anyway, we're gonna just doing all that mathy stuff. A Subtle Strike does keep them in this, so I think we still have work to do, but the course is still clear. Send everything and see what they got. But we also expected the Pinger land. If it's just the Pinger land, they can have the double Royal Mage, that's fine. Looks like they must be able to get the Stomper here. They wouldn't make this block if they couldn't answer the Stomper. So maybe, yeah, we'll see. But then we got another one. Oh. It has Death Touch, but does its fling damage have Death Touch? Oh, they're copying it. Okay, that's why. I was like, I didn't think that the damage had Death Touch, but the copying of the damage does it, right? That was interesting, but ineffective. I don't know what they thought was going to happen. Oh, they thought it had Death Touch or Lifelink. Yeah, I don't think that's how that works. But worth trying if that's how because they were up against it. So it's almost like, even if you're pretty sure of the rules, you probably still execute that play just in case you're wrong, right? We don't know if they thought it worked. It might have just been, well, maybe I don't understand the rules. Let's see if this does what I hope it. I don't think it does, but let's see if it does it, right? Ooh, what's that? New magic bat? What was that? Anybody know what that was? I clicked on it and then it went away instead of letting me examine it some more. Anyway, let's... Oh, we got a sleeve? Okay, cool. No, that Twitter deck is already played out, but it is on YouTube if you wanted to watch that deck in action. I posted it over the weekend in a no commentary draft. That's right here. Let me get that for you. Here is the deck you're talking about. Ugh, not good enough. Mulligan this. This looks good. We got the Gecko. I think we gotta keep our lands. I think we keep our 3 lands between the Gecko and the Colony and the Royal Mage. Royal Mage doesn't have that much to get back here. I'm gonna keep the Sentinel in case we can get to the place of kicking it. So I'm gonna ditch the Royal Mage. I think Sentinel's a better play for our deck here than Royal Mage. That's why I'm keeping that, or keeping Sentinel. There's a world in where we find a Lol Mage familiar off the top, play it, find land, kick the Colony, find land, and then suddenly we're like kicking Sentinels, you know? Hey, see? We might kick this thing. How this is going. If they don't mess with our stuff, we get a kicked Colony next turn, no land at all. Yeah, I haven't given you a fair number of kicker memes yet, but I promise I will if and when we kick this Colony. Yeah, sorry, Jinx, you're right. I'm pretty behind on that today. But I don't want to inundate you. That just makes it not fun. But we got one coming up. I'll remember. Not blocking in a million years with our Crucial Critters ready for turn 4. Yeah, but I like to play it when I kick something, not when I play the familiar. No land, but look, we still get to fully kick this thing. It's incredible. And now I'll give it.
Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Well, I'm going. Go on.
Sorion says we can't kick. I disagree. So do the magic rules. Ooh, Relic Amulet is good. That's a reason to bring in our artifact hate. Are we racing? If we block here, obviously they got a trick. They're not sending the Vanguard in for no purpose here. What do you think it could be, though? I might be willing to throw the colony on the Vanguard and see what they've got. But yeah, we can just race this, right? I'm gonna race this. We got a familiar. As we kick stuff, we gain life. Can play a Sentinel next turn that I'd be more inclined to throw in front of a Vanguard. Although at that point they have the tools to. Veil, I'm just going to use as a race support tool. We could play it as a land. And then we're one land away from getting these stompers going. Maybe I just need to play this as a land. What do you think? I think we attack everything no matter what. I'm curious what you think about holding it as damage prevention or playing it as a land for stomper. You want to block all next turn? I still want to race. I just want to use that as a race winner. Thomas says if we're racing, play it. Oh, you mean play, like cast it. Play it means play the land. Cast it means hold and cast it. We can also just play the Sentinel and use the Veil next turn. Like we're at 14. Although this isn't doing anything, right? It's not attacking or blocking. It can't block because of the Vanguard ability. And it can't attack because it would have Defender. So yeah, I'm just going to end and use the Veil. It's true that we can get it back with Stomper, but I'm trying to win the race we're in right now. Oh, hey, Yoda. Good games. No, I haven't done the Warriors meme, but here, I'll do it for you. With all those Warriors out.
Warriors, come out to play.
I usually hold that for the War Leader, but that's all right. Interesting Relic Amulet Warrior deck. Although there's a Wizard here, so it's some spell action. Usually this is a red-blue type card, but it's usually got at least one or the other. I haven't seen this not be in a red deck or a blue deck. Actually, I'll wait. Maybe they'll go for some combat pump. Wouldn't matter. We've already got maximum reduction here anyway. I don't like that meme because the bottles clinking is very jarring for my ears, but I don't have to hear it. So if you all prefer it, that's great. All right. Well, we did get the land that would have allowed for the Stomper plays that some of you wanted with the Veil there, but we also have a nice spot in terms of our status in this race. And this is not enough to kill even the Gecko. I suppose if they had the Spike Field Hazard. Is that the original one or the rebuild? I can't remember. Anyway. I'm going to play this land out, though. play the Sentinel first, kicked. How do we play the Sentinel kicked? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like that's 6 towards a kick, but not 7. So yeah, I don't know how you. I don't think you're mathing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, if they have some haste, we could just be dead. If they have a hasty 4 drop, we could be dead. But I think we send all and make them have it. Pretend you have an extra mana. I still don't know what you're talking about. We need 7 total, right? Or we need 6 total mana because of the Vine Gecko, and we have 5. Okay, that was a good sequence from Oppo, but we've used up a lot of their stuff. We're going to play the Sentinel now because we've lost the Gecko, so we're pretty far off from casting, kicking a Sentinel. But 1 land and we can start playing Stompers, so we're going to do that. Yeah, we all knew it wasn't going to work, but I also said that if I were in your shoes and it was my only out to try and save that game, I would try it and hope I was wrong. No, you played correctly. That's the thing. You got to understand. I told everybody that you did it right. That if you're not sure and it's your only, I don't know what other lines you had. If you had some other line, then maybe it would be justified. But I feel like you had to do that and hope. I was kind of hoping that the Sentinel might draw fire from the amulet. That was what I was thinking. But you understand, like we weren't really going to cast this in a way that mattered. Like basically, if we ever got to the mana where kicking Sentinel mattered, we would have a second Stomper we could play that would be even better. So that's why I did it that way. And yes, looks like we're pretty dead, but I like to make them attack. Yeah, we had you pegged for that one because of the leaking, Yoda, like the system leaking. There was a point early on where you only had a mountain up. Everything was tapped of your lands except 1 mountain, and we passed it to you, and there was a clear pause to give you a chance to do something. And the only thing in the format that gives you a chance to do something for 1 red mana is the spike field. So we were playing around that. We knew you had that. We were just worried that you also found a subtle strike. So Oppo's just making sure that they're not missing something about lethal here. And actually, now it's not lethal. We get a double block. They get, well, maybe we can't do it this way. I guess we need, let's see, if we keep the familiar and trade off the Sentinel, and chump off the Sentinel, we draw a land and we Stomper, tapping the familiar, making a 6/5 on this board where we block the 7/5 and then just lose. So Stomper's not an out here, so we're going to go ahead and double block and kill because we need something besides these two. These don't get it done. And Mirror Mage not getting it done, so we lose this one. First loss of the event. Let's see if we can come back for 1 more win and still find our way to winning this final match. Yoda, if you don't know about me, my first Magic claim to fame was co-creating the Limited Resources podcast with Marshall Sutcliffe. Then I went and worked at Wizards of the Coast for 7 years, including 5 in Magic R&D and 2 on the Arena team, making this here game. And then I left Wizards and started streaming. So, between Big Artifact here and Relic Amulet here, we're going to bring in our Broken Wings. Tough, though, because cuts are hard in this deck. Maybe now I could give up one of the Stompers. We're up against a pretty aggressive deck, so this is where dropping a 6 makes a little more sense to me. I think I like that. And I didn't quite see... Where'd our cards go? What's going on? Oh, there they are. Hello. Grasp. Yeah, Jace might be a reasonable cut as well. Against aggro, is there a better card? Like we even bring in a Stalker, just something to clog the ground. Maybe Jace is a little cutesy. The 5/4 gain 3 is nice, but also a little clunky. I would rather cut Jace for a Kitty or a Grasp even. Just slow him down here. Yeah, I think I'm going to bring in the Grasp for more things to get back with our Royal Mages and real slowdowns for an aggressive deck. Cat versus Riptide is also interesting, although a big 0/5, while of course that uncommon warrior means the Riptide never blocks. If they don't have that warrior, the Riptide does great work. This looks good. I like having the bite especially. Don't have any 2s, but can't throw this back. Even though, yeah, no 2s against warriors is concerning. But we do have the play, at least. Ugh. Worst 2-drop for us to see, also. Although Familiar technically blocks it. We'll see if they send in. They probably will, and I'll probably take it. And if they tap out, we'll Rabid Bite the Vanguard next turn. So we lose out on mana production, but at least we still get life gain from kicking stuff. So as far as things to get binded, that's all right. And we can even Geyser Mage it back if we decide that's the right thing to do with it. Here, though, I am going to go ahead and bite the Vanguard while the biting is good. Going to save this for a spell. Find ourselves another bite. Find ourselves one of the 2 spells we added. That's a pretty low-value Spark Mage, so we'll take that. Sentinel closing in on being able to be kicked. I think I like Vision here. Although I should Vision first and then decide on land drop. I mean, it's possible we find another spell land that we actually just want to play. Like that one. And especially since they know about it, I'm gonna play it. We have Geyser Mage kick. Ouch! Ouch, ouch, ouch. So that's a lot of damage, and we're gonna take 5 again next turn, but they have to use up their whole turn. And then we can kick a Sentinel to try and trade with it. I don't love this spot, though. We're falling a little bit behind. Gaining some life here will be nice. And then I will trade off for the Spark Mage if they tap out and swing away. We'll Geyser Mage on Spark Mage, and then try to get Sentinel for the Minotaur. All right, they didn't even send to trade for the... Oh, they did. Okay, there you go. Is it must attack? No. All right, Sentinel, we need you. The drawing of the Veil is interesting. We gain some life here. We could make an argument now for holding the Veil to try and actually win combat against the Minotaur. I think I'm going to do that because they're also probably going to play some more threats here. Or that. Now what we're looking for is a creature. And then, wow, they should send the Spark Mage because it's going to be... I can't really block it because I need to hold to find another creature to try and block the Minotaur next turn. There you go. Yeah, if they swing here, we just have to take it all. We can't really win this if we trade Geyser Mage off for Spark Mage unless we get really lucky on the top deck. And I want more of our top decks to be able to allow us to answer this Minotaur. So we're going to say no blocks and cross fingers. But we're way up against it. If they've got the +2/+3, we probably can't win this game now. If they come up with a third creature, yeah, all right. Really hoping we'd find a 3-0 today, but we got absolutely wrecked by a nice aggro deck in the finals. So what are you going to do? We do get... I just don't end up in Boros. But it's wrecked me a lot. Seems like a good deck. Well, we will salve our wounds with some serious pack openings at least. All right, that was fun. Thank you, YouTube friends, for hanging out for that one. Remember, you can hit that like button and help us manipulate the algorithm, let other people find our stream, our content, and join this great community. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Thank you so much for hanging out and catching the end of this one. Bye, YouTube friends.